Hey, heads up, I just want to let you guys know that most of my examples for this video will be coming from the movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And my reason for that, honestly, is because every time that I watch Into the Spider-Verse, it gets better and better every single time. It never fails to impress and capture my attention. From the setting, the character development, the soundtracks, especially the soundtracks, the character placements, the comedic aspects, the sadness, the tone, the overall emotion of this piece of art is perfect. In my opinion, it's perfect. And we've seen the character of Miles Morales and other things like Ultimate Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, the PS4 games, etc. But Into the Spider-Verse is special. No matter how many characters are in there, the focus really is on him. And we get to be with this character, see all his trials and tribulations, the ups, the downs, everything. And again, we've seen that in the PS4 games, but with the PS4 games, we're introduced to Peter first. And Into the Spider-Verse, this entire story, it's about Miles. And regardless of Peter's in it, it really is all about Miles at the center of it. And what I really appreciate is that everything in this movie that involves this character is done with so much respect, and you could tell they really put their all into making everything. And what makes that so special and important is because of how easily they could have messed this up. They could have messed a lot of things up with this story, honestly, because we've seen this happen with a lot of characters, and you see this a lot of times with colored characters. As hard as studios might try, they're rarely able to nail a person of a different culture's story as perfectly and authentically as they did with Miles Morales' character. They either focus too much on one thing or they try to focus on a bunch of things at the same time. Like, for example, some shows or movies trying to shove down your face how black or brown or whatever color they are to the audience, and they'll stress how difficult it is to be this race while also trying to showcase a large amount of the culture while also trying to fight aliens. Like, you get what I'm saying? And honestly, all that is fine when it's written correctly, when we get a cohesive and nicely paced story with these themes. And for Miles Morales, and the few times we see him animated, there's usually a good balance of other things I listed, such as how even though most times it's not explicitly stated like, hey, growing up black and Puerto Rican, it's very difficult for me. No. Instead, we have scenes like Into the Spider-Verse where we have conversations with his mom speaking Spanish back and forth to each other. And then we have his African-American father, and not only his father, but his uncle. And we see Miles go hang out with his uncle, and you hear Biggie playing in the background. And his uncle really, for lack of a better term, has this really swagged out feel to his character. And even the dialogue is done in a way that, in my opinion, feels really human.
No, there's no one. There's no one.
I can't have no nephew of mine on the streets with no game.
Hey, I got game.
The tone and everything that's being said are similar to conversations that I've had with family members in my life. So it kind of feels like you're actually there. You kind of have a sense of deja vu in a way. And I feel like once that's achieved, you know that they did a good job writing this character or writing this story. Because it's all done in a subtle but more entertaining and authentic way than just reconfirming how much of your ethnicity you are every 5 seconds like some shows kind of did. The writers for Miles Morales do a good job at subtly recognizing culture aspects of the character, and still touching on subjects when it's appropriate to without it feeling forced but perfect for the moment, while still showing the side of the character that has personal struggles with other things, like his social life as a teenager and especially becoming the new Spider-Man, the weight he now has to bear to not only save the city but carry a title of such an important character and icon, and do it in a way that you know it's a different Spider-Man but both have the same mission, which is why his suit literally being a Spider-Man suit, just black and red, and sometimes other minor changes, doesn't always hurt the character, but really works really well because it says he's Spider-Man, but he's his own Spider-Man. And the people that don't like Miles Morales' character is because they think he's just Peter Parker with black skin, when he's actually a whole different character, just donning the mask of Spider-Man. Yes, fundamentally, they do have some similarities, but I feel like that's kind of good. Because if anything, if he was like way off from who Spider-Man is as a character morally, then people would definitely have a problem with that. So yes, they do have some similarities. They're both smart and awkward around girls. They both live in New York, even though it's different parts. And yes, and now they're both technically Spider-Man. Okay. But culturally, interest-wise, and most personality traits, they are two separate characters. In some continuities, Miles has both of his parents. Miles likes to spray paint and listen to hip-hop. Miles has extra abilities that Spider-Man doesn't have, like his Venom Shock and his power to go invisible. Miles is innovative and creative in his own way that makes his character feel like a fresh take while still capturing the feeling of him being Spider-Man. Peter Parker and Miles Morales are two different characters with two different lives, but are both trying to protect the same place. While Peter's motivational quote from Uncle Ben was, "With great power comes great responsibility."
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
When it comes to a motivated Miles to do what he does, I think it was really a combination of a lot of different things, from things he was told from his dad, from Peter B. Parker, from Uncle Aaron, etc.
I see this spark in you. It's amazing.
Whatever you choose to do with it, you'll be great.
Our family doesn't run from things.
You're the best of all of us, Miles. You're on your way. Keep going.
When do I know I'm Spider-Man?
You won't. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
It's like he's a whole new person. He spray painted his suit. He was confident. He had control over his abilities. Miles became that guy and was dripped out the whole time he was doing it. And seeing that whole transition with the character was amazing. Because it was a transition that wasn't just said by the character, but in his actions, the way he moved, the way he did things. And others started to notice and were shocked. This movie was a perfect origin story, in my opinion, for the character. It did a lot in a well-written way. Not even just personality growth or learning to use powers, but set up new friendships, fixed friendships, ended character arcs in a meaningful and surprising way with good build-up. For people that didn't know Miles Morales before, I don't see how you wouldn't become a fan of the character after watching this carefully crafted and well-orchestrated masterpiece of a movie. I've always found this character to be a good character, and this movie is a movie that goes into great depth with this character. Miles Morales in a lot of ways feels like myself, which is why I think this movie and this character is so important to me. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, give me a like and subscribe, and share some of your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.